Living up to its name, the new Doctor Strange movie is really going to be madness. By this point, we've seen many teaser clips and trailers for the new Marvel film. Still, there is so much that intrigues us that we can't wait to be the first ones in the movie theaters on May 6th. Here's a rundown on all the new Doctor Strange powers we're about to experience in the Multiverse of Madness. What is the multiverse? If you've been watching Marvel films with a keen eye recently, you would have noticed that they've been hinting at the multiverse for quite a while now. Back in Spider-Man No Way Home, we saw Peter Parker and Doctor Strange accidentally mess up a spell and open the gates to the multiverse. By the end of the film, the power duo had already closed the gates before all hell could be unleashed. Little do they know that even that brief little while that the gates to the multiverse were open is about to bring some very real consequences. Now, we already know that Strange and Scarlet Witch are about to team up and take over the multiverse together. Wait, no? That isn't the story? Our bad. Strange and Scarlet Witch are going to have some sinister experiences through the multiverse, and we're all for it. All of this and more is yet to be explored in Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. Next, Sinister Strange. Have you seen the latest trailer yet? If yes, then you would have noticed Strange's odd appearance. He appears to have a third eye on his forehead and looks rather sinister. What's all that about? No, this isn't the Doctor Strange that we all know and love. This version of Doctor Strange, called Sinister Strange, is from another world, another timeline, which is a consequence of the multiverse. We're super impressed at how Benedict Cumberbatch is portraying both roles perfectly. There's evil in his eyes when he plays Sinister Strange, and there's wisdom when he plays the original Doctor Strange. If you're getting confused with all the strange terms here, then buckle up, because Marvel is just getting started with the multiverse. Now, we have Strange's third eye. For those who have only watched the MCU films, Strange having a third eye might come as a surprise to you, but for those fans who read the comics, the concept is far from new. But wait, we're not going to discriminate between movie fans and comic fans like everyone else. We're going to find a way to explain everything to everyone so that it makes perfect sense. The third eye on Strange's forehead is actually none other than the Eye of Agamotto. Now, you might remember this as a pendant-type chain that Strange always wore with the time stone in it. That's the eye. However, it is important to note here that the comics never related the Eye of Agamotto to the Time Stone, or any Infinity Stone in fact. In the comics, the eye is a magical talisman that was made by Agamotto himself, who was part of a trio of supernatural godlike beings. On Earth, the Eye of Agamotto was handed to the Sorcerer Supreme, simply because that's the role that Agamotto himself had. Now, as you've seen with the Time Stone, the eye can be used to play back recent events. It has some powers that are similar to telepathy. It also accompanies the wearer's astral form, like those scenes when we saw someone's soul leave their body throughout the first few MCU films. One power of the eye that we haven't yet seen on screen is the fact that it can find and show the ultimate truth. The eye emits an all-revealing light that helps uncover the truth. So we were talking about the third eye on Strange's forehead, right? The thing is, when someone is using the Eye of Agamotto, a third eye appears on the forehead of the wearer. Simple as that. Why does Sinister Strange have a third eye? Now, that's a question we cannot fully answer for you. According to the comics, the eye can only be used to maintain order and for white or pure magic. This means that only a sorcerer with a pure heart and clean soul will be able to use the powers of the eye. But we cannot ignore that there have been certain exceptions to this rule in the comics too. There's been a time when Baron Mordo used the eye disguised as Strange, and a time when Loki wore the talisman. So perhaps the third eye on Sinister Strange's forehead is, in fact, the Eye of Agamotto. We really can't wait to solve the mystery of why and how this evil version of Strange uses the eye. What powers does the third eye bring? As we've already mentioned, the third eye gives one the power of seeing the truth. Apart from that, it replays recent events and can even be used when the wearer is in astral form. Apart from all this, we do know a few more things about the powers of the third eye. According to the comics, the eye can radiate a revealing light that allows the wearer to see through any disguises and illusions. The wearer can also look at past events, track any ethereal or corporeal beings through their magic emissions, and can even weaken the abilities of certain evil mystical beings. If that last one is true, how did Sinister Strange manage to use the eye before the real Strange did? That's a question only the Multiverse of Madness can answer. If the full powers of the eye are possessed, then it can help Strange manipulate the minds of others and create a mystical barrier between anyone and anything. We might might have seen Strange opening portals to other places in the past, but with the eye, he can create portals to any other dimension. Through these portals, he can transport dozens of beings of any power to any other place in the entire universe. Do you see how crazy these powers are? We can't even wrap our heads around most of them. In the comics, the eye was used to break open the barriers of the dark dimension, reverse time, and throw huge bolts of mystic forces. But here's the most interesting reveal. The eye can implant itself on someone else's head at Strange's command. Maybe that's how Sinister Strange got the eye. So, the Eye of Agamotto is back? Now that we've told you all about the eye's powers, there's just one little question left. How did it come back? Let's leave the comics behind now, shall we? In the MCU, we first saw the Eye of Agamotto in Doctor Strange. Back then, we learned that it was created by Agamotto himself to contain the super powerful Time Stone and to prevent it from getting into the wrong hands. So, whenever someone would wear the eye, they would be able to use the powers of the Time Stone. We saw all this in front of our eyes when Doctor Strange used the eye in a battle at the Hong Kong Sanctum to stop Caecilius and Dormammu. Coming to the current timeline, we need to remember the events of Infinity War and Endgame. Back in Infinity War's Battle of Titan, Strange had to surrender the Time Stone to Thanos, who crushed the Eye of Agamotto immediately. Apparently, the eye had to be reconstructed at some point between the Battle of Earth in Endgame and the current day. We even saw Strange wearing the eye back in Spider-Man No Way Home, but it doesn't have the Time Stone anymore. Now that Sinister Strange has a third eye, and we're finally getting to explore the multiverse, is it time for the Infinity Stones to make a comeback? We've already heard that the stones are still present somewhere in the universe, so what better time to bring them back than in the Multiverse of Madness itself? Whatever happens to the Infinity Stones, though, one thing is clear. There's more to the Eye of Agamotto than just preserving the Time Stone. Will the real Doctor Strange awaken his eye? Dr. Stephen Strange has really come a long way since his selfish neurosurgeon days, but that doesn't mean he knows all there is to know about the mystic world. In the first Doctor Strange film, the Ancient One clearly told Strange to open his eye. This was right before she sent him on a crazy trip through multiple dimensions. Or were they universes? Back then, we had interpreted the phrase as just a metaphor, but what if there's more? The Ancient One might have been referring to literally opening his third eye on his forehead so that he could see the real truth. There must be a reason why Doctor Strange still wears the eye even if it doesn't have the Time Stone anymore. Maybe in the Multiverse of Madness, we'll finally get to see Strange unleashing his full powers when he comes face to face with Sinister Strange. And that's when he learns to use the full potential of the talisman. Perhaps Sinister Strange only has the eye because he's projecting it from the real Strange. We're looking forward to getting the answers to all our questions ASAP when Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness hits our nearest movie theater. And that's a wrap for this video. What powers of the eye do you think we'll see in the Multiverse of Madness? Drop all your crazy MCU theories in the comments below. As always, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to never miss a video from us again. See you next time.